Good
Hi
morning.
guys.
Happy Wednesday. We're here for your lesson again. All right. It's getting pulled up. So
Yeah.
you'll pull out your fifth grade review book, and we're on page 4, which is multiplication, one of my favorites.
Yay. Perfect. So this is what your page looks like. Remember that at the beginning of the year, we taught you 4 different strategies for multiplying numbers. And then we kind of let you guys choose which one worked the best for you. During this review, we'd like for you to practice all of these strategies through the choice board activities so that you can remember these for 5th grade. All right. This is what we're going to talk about first, these 4 strategies. And the first box we're going to zoom into is the multiplying with zeros box.
Awesome. You want me to start?
It's up
All
to
right.
you. That'd be fine.
I love the zero trick. So remember all of these, you have your math notebooks. So if you flip to the multiplication divider, you're going to see all of these notes too. So you have multiple examples. And we want you, even though we know all of you know how to multiply the quicker way with standard algorithm, we still want you to practice these because you'll have to know it in 5th grade when the numbers get larger. All right, so zero trick, multiplying with zeros is one of our favorite. If you are multiplying 2 numbers that end in a 0, that means you can do the zero trick. So for this one, we have 40 times 60,000. You underline the digits that are not 0. So in this case, a 4 and a 6. And we know 4 times 6 is 24. So you write that down and underline it. And then you count all of your zeros in both of the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And then you write those in to the right of the 24. And I usually just fill in all the zeros and then I look at the number after I add in the commas so it's in the correct place. So be careful not to add it in the wrong place value. All
Yep.
right.
And then there's only one trick with the zero trick, and that is when you're multiplying with numbers that actually have a 0. So in this example, we have 500 times 40. So I'm doing 5 times 4 first. That gives me 20. So this 0 gets grouped with that number 20. So that's the only kind of confusing part, but it's not bad if you keep your numbers underlined,
Yep.
because then I need to add 1, 2, 3 more zeros. So here they are, 1, 2, 3 more zeros. And then like Mrs. Moore said, I'm going to look at the whole number and then at the end put the comma in so that I'm separating it out by periods in the number.
Yep. Just be careful not to double count that 0 because then you'll have an extra 0 and it won't be right. All right.
Exactly.
So partial product, this is kind of like the area model with the box when it's a 2 by 2, but partial product is what we actually did before we taught you the big box area model. So this one is either with a 2-digit by 1 digit or a 3-digit by 1 digit. So here we have a 3 by 1 digit. So 234 times 8. And your hint is to decompose the numbers based off of where the numbers are sitting in their place value. So you decompose 234, 200 on the top, 30 on the top, and then the 4. So if you were to add that back up, it would be 234. Yep, we did that right. And then you're multiplying all of those pieces, parts, partial product, by 8. So 200 times 8, whatever is sitting on the top of the box, and on this side is the 2 numbers you're kind of putting together to multiply. So 8 times 2, that 0 trick comes into play again. So 16, add your 2 zeros, and then you're moving over. 30 times 8, so 8 times 3, 24. There's 1 0, add that 0 in, 240. And then 8 times 4, easy, should know it in your head, 32. So then you have your 3 partial products within your box. And then you need to stack and add them neatly like we've done on the side, line them up based off of their place value so you add them correctly. And when you add all 3 partial products up, your total product of 234 times 8 is 1,872.
Perfect. All right, so like Mrs. Moore said, the area model just adds another layer to our boxes. So we can use this for a 2 by 2 digit number or even a 3 by 2 digit number. We would just have another box on the right-hand side. So again, I decompose those numbers. I keep the numbers together. So 46 is 40 plus 6, so I keep those on the top. And then 19 is decomposed into 10 plus 9. Those get written on the side so that I have 19 times 46. Again, I'm going to use the 0 trick. So the 40 goes with both of these numbers in this column. The 6 goes with those two numbers in that column. The 10 goes all the way across, and then the 9 goes all the way across. When we were in class, we used to write the equation up here. If you still need to do that, that's fine. So this first box would be 10 times 40. So 4 times 1 gives me the 4, and then I have 2 zeros that I put at the end. For the box over here, I do 10 times 6, which is 60. Down here, I'm doing 9 times 40. 9 times 4 is 36, and then I need to add my 0. And then the last box is my basic fact, 9 times 6, which is 54. Again, I line those numbers up so that I have my 1s together, my 10s together, my 100s together. I add them up, and 46 times 19 gives me a total of 874.
Awesome. All right, and last but not least, it is the standard algorithm. So for this one, it's a 2 by 2. You can obviously do the standard algorithm with a 2 by 1, 3 by 1. We all know how to do this, and this is where Mr. Zero comes into play. So we love him. All right, so you stack them, 38 times 54. And if I was in class or if we were on the board, we would be covering up that number. So this is where you can use your little finger, pinky, whatever, to cover up the 5, like the mouse is covering it right now, because you're starting with the 1's place. So 8 times 4 is 32. You carry the 3, put your 2 in the 1's place. And then it's 4 times 3, which is 12 plus that 3, which is 15. Remember to mark it out like we have at the top so you don't get confused and add in the wrong number on the next part, okay? So your first part is 152. All right, so now you're moving your mouse or your pinky over to cover the 4. And now we have to do, after we add in Mr. Zero, we've already added him in there. Now we're doing 5 times 8. So remember, Mr. Zero is a placeholder because now we're actually working in the 10's place instead of the 1's place, like the first top part. All right, so 8 times 5 is 40. So you write your 0 in the 10's place and carry your 4. And then we have 5 times 3 is 15, add 4, 19. So your second number should read 1,900. And then the great news is they're already stacked. So you draw your line and you add them up. 2 plus 0 is 2, 5 plus 0, 5, 9 plus 1 is 10, carry your 1, and you have a 1 plus 1, which is 2. So the final product of 38 times 54 is 2,052.
A good way to solve and check would be on any of these problems to do it one way, maybe standard algorithm, and then check it another way with a different strategy, just to make sure you got it right.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right, so here are your 6 problems. Go ahead and pause the video. Take a couple minutes to do these 6 problems. If you need a separate piece of paper to show your work, that's fine. And then hit play when you come back. All right, here are the answers for those 6 problems. Mrs. Moore, you want to go first or you want me to?
Yes, I can start.
Okay.
And then you can see for most of these, we use the standard algorithm because that's what what we prefer to use. But if you wanted to, you could have practiced different ways. But you do, if you're not used to using the standard algorithm, it is going to be used in 5th grade. So practice it now if you're not comfortable. And then all of these are basically solved the same way. It's all multiplication. So the first one, 47 times 12, you stack them like earlier. You start with the 1's place, multiply it out, and then you add in Mr. Zero. Don't forget Mr. Zero because then your place value will be off. And if you forgot that, then maybe the answer wasn't there and you went back and found it. But when you multiply 47 times 12, your answer is 564, as you can see there. I'm not going to go through the steps because that's what we did on the first part of this video. So it is B is the right answer.
And number 2, same thing. This one's just a 3-digit by 1-digit number. So I use standard algorithm. You could use partial product if you want. When you multiply those out, 105 times 8 is 840.
Awesome. And then number 3 is a 4 by 1 digit. So same thing as number 2, but we're adding in that extra step, that extra place value. So we use standard algorithm. When you multiply each number by 6, your final answer is 23,352, which is letter C.
Very good. And number 4, again, 3-digit by 1-digit, 412 times 9 is 3,708.
Awesome. All right. And then number 5, 16 times 52. So a 2 by 2. Again, you stack, don't forget Mr. Zero, line it up carefully. And your final product is 832, which is letter C.
Perfect. So number 6 is the one that we wanted to spend the most time on because it just looks a little bit different. So anytime you have one of these problems where it says which expression can be used to find 45 times 12, I'm going to always multiply out 45 times 12 just to see what the answer should be. So I did that over here. I used standard algorithm and I got 540. Now, all I have to do is look at A, B, C, and D and see which one also gives me 540. So I got pretty lucky because it was my first one, which is A. So A is my answer. When I multiplied these other ones out, they gave me numbers that were much lower. So B was only 460. C was 410. I'm kind of running off the page. And D was 130, right? So on A, after I found that A was the right answer, I looked back at the problem to see why that was the right answer. And I can tell now that I know kind of what I know and what numbers are there, they left 45 the same, which was one of my factors. And then for the number 12, they decomposed it into 10 plus 2. So that's how they got these two numbers. And I know that I can decompose the numbers to do 45 times 10 plus 45 times 2, and I get the same answer.
Yeah, and that's just another way of the partial product written out basically with that expression. So
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. All right, the only other thing is our choice board for the week. Anything we need to note about this?
This one is pretty much, format's the same. You have 9 choices. We encourage you to keep trying new ones. Don't do the same one every time. There's some really awesome ones. Always one that includes going outside, IXL, technology, straight up practice, and then games. But if you look at the top row, I see something that catches my eyes. I see the iMovie, part 1 and part 2. So that's something new that I haven't tried before. So I would definitely read that and try that one out if you're interested in that, because that sounds really fun. Like a great way to review multiplying and then just keep connecting with all the people that we love.
Yeah, and I will say that Mr. Patterson's grandfather, so Anna and Molly's great-grandfather, turned 95 last week. Wow. And I had not used iMovie in a very long time. And I saw it on the iPad and I thought, you know, that might be something fun. So we made a video with just the girls' pictures and we said happy birthday. And it was so easy to use and it was so cute and he loved it. So I think that one would be a really fun one to do. We might put that on there a couple of times so that you can make it for a lot of different people as the weeks go on. So
yeah, and like if it's one of your parents' birthdays or something soon, you could even do that as a secret for them and surprise them. And then we want to note we're still turning it in the same way. You click that Google form. Make sure you only submit the form once. When you have all 3 done, usually it's part 2 the second day, so tomorrow. And that's how you get your grade and credit. So keep doing that. You're doing awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Oh, I totally forgot. A couple of these, though, if you see where it says this is a great challenge, we also wanted to point out that some of these things we put on there. We know that you all are very good at 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. In 5th grade, you're going to have to do 3-digit by 2-digit multiplication. Some of you even did that in class a little bit in 4th grade. So some of these activities, if it says this is a great challenge, it'll be a 3-digit by 2-digit number sometimes. If you forget how to do that, I think I put a link down here to show you how to multiply 3-digit by 2-digit numbers. If you've never done it or if you don't remember how to do it, you could watch that video or you could go on Google and just type it in and find your own video. So That's all we had to say, I think. We hope you
Yes,
guys
and I bet some of you that have older siblings, they could definitely help you too. So it's just adding one extra step in because it's that extra third place value in the hundreds for that. So
yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a good day. And thank you, Mrs. Moore.
thank
And
you.
thank you, kids, for your hard work. We'll
All
see
right.
you
See
soon.
ya.
Bye.